at that level, community level, and at a national level. But let's go global. We all know Facebook. We can identify the marks. We know Facebook. We know Twitter. And many of us are on these platforms. By just mere look at the logo, you can tell easily that the brand is either Twitter or Facebook and so on. But let's go to the local ones. Movit is known, a renowned mark, a renowned brand. Coca-Cola, many people want to take Coca-Cola and blend it with something. So we see branding in different aspects and dimensions. But what are those factors that influence branding in our communities? Of course, you look at the community, the environment globally, the environment continentally, regionally, and the environment nationally. What is the environment like for branding at a personal level, at a family level, at a community level, and also at a national level? What do cultures influence? The culture within our communities, but also the culture in the space where you work. If you are a lawyer and you're working in a private law firm, what is your culture and how does it influence your personal branding? If you are in the public sector, in the public service industry, what is that brand? What is the culture and how does it influence brand, the personal branding and also the entity branding? Then we have communication. Communication is very key because we thrive and survive through communication. Once there's a communication gap in every space, starting from our families, to the communities, to the global level, once there's a knowledge gap, then it will affect the brand and the perceptions out there and how people look at you, especially when sometimes things go on social media and you cannot come out to explain, you cannot communicate, you cannot clarify. That is why you see newspapers come later to clarify, and even social media to clarify where there's miscommunication. But also don't wait for clarity. You can communicate whatever you want the world to know about you and about the space that you influence. Then confidence. Confidence is something that is always on the mind by many people, but we have realized that many people are not confident, especially when they are doing interviews, when they're given assignments, when they're given opportunities to present, even networking, opportunities for networking, we find that there's this gap, and confidence building is very key, and it also influences the way you brand yourself. Build that confidence within yourself. Build that confidence for the children that we are raising or mentoring. Let them be confident. And then customization. How do you customize the brand to yourself? We may be so many lawyers in the field, thousands of lawyers in the space, but how do you identify yourself? How do you tell that ex-lawyer is the best family lawyer that we can have, that we know Joyce and Nalunga is good at family matters. We know lawyers that are good at commercial matters. We know lawyers that are good at land matters. We know lawyers that are good at dispute resolution, ADR, alternative dispute resolution. We know female lawyers that are good at litigation. We know female lawyers that are good at paperwork, writing pleadings and all the documentation. We know those that are good in customer care. We know those that are good in speaking. So how do you customize the branding to that personal attribute that you'll be known for as an individual, but also as a law firm or as a public servant or a private sector player? And as you consider culture, communication, confidence, and customization, remember reputation matters. Reputation is so broad, but let's go to personal reputation since we're talking about personal branding. What do people know you for? How do people know you? What is the culture around you? How do you communicate your messages? And what do you communicate in every space that you go to? Where is the confidence? And what is the bearing of the culture, communication, confidence, customization, and reputation on your personal branding? We also have to appreciate the fact that we have power. Many a times we see ourselves as powerless, but God did not make any mistake by making anyone, creating anyone powerless. Everybody has power, and it is even embedded in the scriptures and even the Quran. There is power to take dominion. So when it is in Genesis, when the Lord says that there's power to take dominion over things on the earth, on the land, and in the air, it means that you have the power. And this is power that is inbuilt, that you're born with. But when you are born, there's that power you also acquire. So you have to appreciate the fact that you have the power in you. And this is also influenced through identity. What is your identity? We have so much identity crisis in the world today. Many people want to change their identity in terms of the way they look, but that's the preference. Many people want to change their gender. Many people want to change their orientation. All these identities that we are looking at in terms of diversity. Then the impact, what is the impact? What is your value proposition as you realize that power in you? What impact are you creating in the space that you're influencing as a person? Are you relevant? If you were removed from that puzzle, the puzzle in this place, I mean the workplace that you are in, would they fill your gap? What impact are you making? And what is your influence? And what is your sphere of influence? What is your circle of influence? Do you even influence? We need to confront ourselves and ask and activate that power that we were born with and the power that we have since acquired. I designed this, all these images are designed by me. I love making presentations that have images because I speak a lot. And I had to classify the personal power because this is where the whole gist is. Before you appreciate personal branding and all the personal attributes that surround it, and the fact that we have talked about the power that we have in terms of identity, impact, and influence, we have to appreciate the personal power that we have. The person, and it starts with personal responsibility, which is self-leadership. How do we lead ourselves? How do we behave around ourselves and others? How do we invest in ourselves? How do we react to situations? How do we support ourselves to grow? How do we do things that build our brand? What are those things that we can do without money? Many times, so we have no budget, we have no money to do this, but there are online spaces where you can get free information, free education, free learning, or even asking for help through the power of asking. So it all starts with us through personal responsibility. We are responsible for our lives. There's nobody that is responsible for our lives. It is us as citizens, as individuals. We are responsible for our lives. Before we start blaming the environment around us, what have we done for ourselves? As lawyers, as females, as influencers, as business people, what are we doing? So it starts with personal responsibility. What are those tips I'm taking towards the me I want in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years? What personal brand have you created for yourself? How are you known for? What are you known for? In terms of keeping time, in terms of reacting to situations, in terms of appearance, in terms of presentation, in terms of education. Is it one, are you one of the people that after the law degree, you just gave up and stuck to that? And the world is moving. You may think that you not need that postgraduate diploma in communication or postgraduate diploma in arbitration, a postgraduate diploma in a skill in cookery, yet the world is moving on. So what are you known for? Know your brand and build it. If you're in a space where you want to be known, be the best expert. If you're in intellectual property, be the best intellectual property lawyer. If you're in land, you're interested in land, be the best land lawyer. If you're interested in family affairs, be that best family lawyer. But you can also task and be good at 2 or 3 things. What are those personal skills? Because personal power has influence on the personal skills. What are those skills that you do not learn in school? What are those skills that you do not learn in law school that you need to learn? There are those natural skills that come with talent, but there are those that are acquired. Let's say communication skills, presentation skills. So what are those personal skills that you have that will influence your personal power? And then the personal influence. Do you influence anyway? What are the things that you influence? Because we say we have the power, but what have we influenced? Even influencing a decision is good enough. Influencing people to follow you, even on social media, is good. Because we have influencers, there are people who are now influencers out there, and companies are looking out for them. Companies are looking out for influencers, promote their brands in the marketplace, promote their products. You've seen them. It's these celebrities, they build their profiles on social media, and they are living on the proceeds from the social media handles because they are paid to promote brands. They are paid to post any information. What is that personal connection that influences that power? What connections do you have around you? What networks do you have around you? Are you still with the same people that you went to school with in primary school? You're still hanging out with the same people, you dine together, you do same people. You can be with the same people, but expand your circle of influence. What are those new relationships that you have built when you go for these workshops? The East African Law Society is coming next week. The Uganda Law Society conferences, all these engagements. How do you build your personal connections and networks? Then the personal presence. Are you present? Present in terms of relevance. Do you know what is happening in the modern space? Do you know what is trending, for example? What is trending in the space in terms of legal? We know that this decision on marriage has just come out, and it is all over. Are you present? Do you know what is happening around you? Or even physical, emotional, educationally, all those kinds of presence. Then we have personal security. You know that power comes with security. We have so many securities as women. Somebody appreciates your dress, and you're like, oh, it's a dress of 10 years ago. Nobody's asking for that explanation. They've said, you are smart. Just respond, thank you. You don't have to explain yourself. You have nice hair. Oh, you see, don't give those insecurities. Create that confidence that you need. Create the personal security that you need. Appreciate your body, appreciate your mind. And if you have any insecurities as to size, as to weight, work on them, because there are processes that are made, are set for that. Work on them. So let's create personal security, because it gives us power. Then the personal spaces. What are those spaces you have as a person? Because sometimes we are so into the crowd that we miss out to have our own personal spaces. Those spaces of reading, that you're reading a book, the spaces of going to the salon to make out, or to do makeup, to do your hair, the spaces of doing massage, the spaces of working out, the spaces of hanging out with friends, or even alone. Create your personal spaces, because it gives you a lot of power to know who you are. You can't talk about personal branding when you don't know your personal power. Then the skills that I talked about as well, and the passion that comes with it. But all this personal power and those personal attributes that I've given come with appreciating the value system. What are your personal values? I know work with organizations, law firms, entities that have values. But let's bring it back to ourselves. What are those personal values that you have as an individual. And personal values is just not listing them on paper or writing them in your digital database. No, it is having them, but also living by them. The most common personal values include integrity. What are you known for? Are you that lady lawyer who is known for not doing right, or maybe handling clients, mishandling clients, or maybe being unethical? All those issues that come with integrity. Transparency. The need for transparency, especially when you're in a law firm or a private sector or a public office, there must be transparency. It's part of accountability. Compassion. There are people who have no compassion at all. I have met so many people in that they have no compassion at all. They'll kill you as they are laughing. They'll kill you softly. They have no compassion, but that is them. But what is your personal value? Trust. Are you that person that can be trusted with clients' resources, with people's resources? Are you that person that can be trusted? Are you reliable to the extent that when your leaders, your supervisors, or you as the boss, you are away, you can be depended upon, or you're this person who is not reliable at all in terms of timekeeping, in terms of documents drafting, in terms of court proceedings, in terms of everything. When they mention your name, whatever comes to people's mind that, oh no, that lawyer, no, that lady, she's a disappointment. Then the humility, we serve. Let's be humble, because humility is just accepting and embracing that this world is not ours. We're just trustees. I always tell my colleagues here that we are trustees of these offices. We don't have to be proud. We don't have to back at people. We don't have to mistreat people and make class move around in circles, because anytime we leave these offices and other people will occupy them. So let's serve with humility. We don't lose anything from serving with humility. Pick phones where you can. Where you can't, send text. Ask people to send you text and you respond. When you're busy, you delegate. You ask somebody to handle the client. But you don't pick calls because you're in that big office or you're driving a big car or big position. You don't respond to messages. You don't greet. You don't. Basically, you are, or you are not humble. So, what are your values? What did you stand for as a female lawyer? What did you stand for as a female? What do you stand for as a lawyer? And what do you stand for as a human being? What are those values? Then we go to the media platform, because communication is no longer at the distance. There's no longer an excuse in terms of distance. The communication tools are here. Many of us are on Instagram, follow things on YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, the TikTok, and Twitter, all these spaces. Do you have any social media handle, for example? You may not go on all this, but you can select to be on LinkedIn because it's a professional channel. You can do YouTube and run videos of what your passion is about. If you're into communication, send WhatsApp on the things that you're doing. You can tweet about the space that you're influencing. You have a website. If you feel that you have really done a lot of, people do Google and are looking for you every time they meet you, even your future employers or even your clients. They Google, they want to know who this person is. Are you on Wikipedia? And when somebody Googles your name, what comes online? What do we find online? What is that content? Have you developed any content? Because content, the data, we know gold is data is the new gold, and the gold or the new oil that we have in this era. So are you building content for yourself and for the future generation? Or what content do you share anyway? If you want a personal brand, you have to put content to want to be
Hello.
known for,
Yes,
that people
I have
look
the
for you
letter,
in
but
that
I've
space.
called Madam and she
How
didn't answer. I've
how
just
do
called her.
you
It's not like I
want
called
people
her
to
long
know
ago.
you? And how do
I
you
see
want
the
people
day
to
is
remember you?
ended.
How do you want to
Ntinda.
be remembered for? Are you that person who does not mute, for example, when you join the space? Are you the person who does not follow the online protocols, because online systems are here. We have Zoom, we have Teams. So you have to appreciate the protocols as a leader and know that when you join Zoom, you have to mute the microphone, for example. You have to put your name for purpose of identity. It's about branding. All it's about branding, personal branding. The way you speak, the way you walk, the way you move, the physical branding, the intellectual branding, and all kinds of branding, colleagues. So as I conclude, I want to emphasize the fact that with a personal brand, you will discover more about yourself, you'll position yourself better, and the world will look for you. Opportunities will knock at your door endlessly when you brand yourself. Otherwise, you disappear in the crowd. You are your own project. Work on yourself as a project. Work on the weak spots. Work on the blind spots that you yourself knows and maybe a few people know, or you alone knows. Work on you. Read, learn, do things different. You don't have to disappear in the crowd, and learn how to sell your brand once you have it. Once you're the best lawyer in family, once you're the best lawyer in commercial law, once you're the best criminal lawyer, criminal law practice lawyer, once you're the best civil law practice lawyer, brand yourself like that. Otherwise, you brand and rebrand always, because new things come on board. Today, it could be commercial law or litigation, and in the next few years, maybe there will not be litigation. So how do you rebrand? So brand and rebrand always. I thank you very much for listening in.
Well, thank you so much, Masse, Madam Registrar General. It is very, very insightful. I almost didn't want you to stop the presentation, but allow me to present the following questions that have come in. I'll do a 3 set of questions per time. A question that has come in, that how do you handle a dented personal brand? What nuggets of wisdom can you give to, a female lawyer or someone out there whose brand has been dented? What do they do? Then the other question is, this is coming from someone who is asking, how do you handle insecurities? Someone saying that they're struggling with insecurities. What would you advise them to do? Then the third question is, what is the role of friends in personal branding? Over to you, Madam Registrar General.
Thank you very much for those questions. The first is, how do you handle a dented brand? Yes, with social media, you may take years to build your brand, but social media can blow your brand just in a twinkle of an eye by sharing an image, a picture, a video, a statement, a document. It's now too easy to dent brands. And we have to be careful with what we do at all times, where we go, the people we hang around with, the things that we do. First of all, integrity. Let's first, before the brand is dented, who are we? Are we innocent? Are we faithful? Are we doing the right things? And if at all we are doing the right things and the right spaces, yes, of course, there will always be something to dent your name, because we have people that are surrounding us. Human beings turn around anytime. Human beings will turn against you anytime. Even friends, your own friends or your own family, will turn against you anytime. So how do you prepare for that time when your name is under dent or the image is being affected? First of all, it starts with the power in you. You have to start with your mindset and stay strong. You know that this has happened. This is going out on social media, or this rumor is going out, or this document has leaked. let me first stabilize, because if you also go in the mode of panic, then it will be very difficult for you to sustain. Then where necessary, and if you feel that it is necessary, depending on the circumstances and the extent of that diluted image, you can communicate. You can communicate the right position. And if the position is actually whatever they put out there is wrong, you communicate the right position, give a statement on what is right. Because if you stay and keep quiet, especially when it's the degree of dilution of your image is so high, is so big, it will be very difficult for people to appreciate that you're innocent. So sometimes you have to come out and speak for yourself, and also get friends to speak for you and rebuild your image. The truth will always come out. I always tell people, traps can come along the way. Naysayers can say things, haters can do things, but time will tell. It's only a matter of time. That's what I always tell myself. It is only a matter of time that the truth will come out. So you need to be patient, but also build a space around you that is very supportive. And where there's defamation, of course, do the needful. You can even take these people to the courts of law, so that they learn lessons. Because some people post recklessly. You have invested a lot in your image, and somebody out of the blue recklessly just says a statement or writes a statement that can easily take away your clients and your good future. How do you handle insecurities? Insecurities, it depends if they are physical insecurities on your body, if they're insecurities in terms of the skills, if they're insecurities in terms of your networks, depends on the insecurities. So first of all, you have to know who you are. What do you stand for? Because we have different personalities. There are people who are not good at speaking, who are not interested in public speak. There are people who are so quiet and do not respond. The personalities are different. So appreciate who you are. What kind of personality are you? Because you may look at something as an insecurity when it is just your personality, and that's how you're meant. And once you identify that, then you can work. If you have identified that communication is one thing that you need to improve, just do videos, just in your private spaces, go on YouTube and put how to speak in public. What you do, all these lessons are there. If it's about your body, just do something about it. I mean, if it's about your weight and you feel uncomfortable, just do something about it. If you feel comfortable, just dress the part, be you and be happy. It all starts with your mind, the subconscious mind. Everything starts with the subconscious mindset before it becomes conscious. It all starts with the mind. So identify and define what you want to be, and then you move towards that. It doesn't matter what people say, whether people like the way you dress, the people like putting flowers and shiny stuff, being colored. That is you. Be you. Somebody else will like black colors and white. That is that person. So don't be somebody else. Be you. And like I mentioned, use all those aspects and of the power, personal power that I mentioned. The last one is, what is the role of friends in personal branding? Friends, we need friends in all spaces. And of course, they say that you can be defined by the people that you hang out with or the friends that you have. You know that saying. And it depends. You like people because of different strengths. You like people for different reasons. And I mean, we don't have to like perfect people, because you don't have perfect people on earth. And we have to take on our friends with their imperfections. Even us, they have taken us on with our imperfections. So, but when you're promoting your personal brand, it is personal to you. So it doesn't matter how many friends or which friends you hang out with. It doesn't matter the people in your circles. It doesn't matter even the family you come from. It doesn't matter your financial muscle. It doesn't matter. Personal brand is personal. It is person to the holder. It is a personal brand. Put the friends aside. You can use your friends to promote it or to promote you, whether it's a product or a process or a personality, a personal attribute. It's okay. So it depends. Otherwise, we need friends. But I know we'll have situations where friends have let us down or will let us down. That is normal. But as long as you have your personal brand, people will know. You have ever had people saying, oh, there's this clique of girls. Oh, but this girl is good. When your friends are influencing you negatively, you can tell, you can see the signals. If those friends are influencing you negatively, don't work, don't what, let's chill. Then, you also detect danger ahead of you. And you go, you have no contact with these people, by the way. You can exit that group. It's like friendship is like being on a WhatsApp group, which if doesn't add value and it's creating a lot of noise around you, exit. Just click, exit the group. So you exit the friendship or minimize the connection and move on. At the end of the day, it is our personal goals. And like I mentioned, we are our own personal projects. Yes, we need friends, we need people. We need people around us, but you cannot also be dominated by only bad people with bad influence who are not adding value to you. And in this day and age, actually, people are looking for people that already have brands, jobs. If they are going to give, you have seen communication people on TV, those that work, TV personalities. Now they're being picked to work as communication specialists for different organizations, government entities, private sector, international bodies, because they have built their brands. They are known on TV. They have social media handles that have big following. So they are being hunted because of the special skill they have. So know who you hang out with, know who you associate with, and try to detox some of the relations that are not useful. We are aging, and we need, as we grow, as we age, we need to be in spaces which give us comfort and also which add value to us and not only noise. Thank you.
General, allow me to do a recap for those who have just joined us on the nuggets of wisdom you have shared on personal branding. For those who have just joined, our chief speaker has emphasized that personal branding is a personal choice. It is what we decide to do as a personal project. But also my take home is, what are we doing? What are you doing on an individual basis to build your brand? And what brand have you created for yourself? Those are questions that are going to linger in us as female lawyers. You ask questions like, do you keep time? Are you present? Are you trying to react to issues in a different way? Are you capable of managing and handling your temperaments? And then the other key area that you've also mentioned, the need for us to be the best in our areas. For the female lawyers in different sectors, are you the best in private practice? Are you opting for excellency within the public service? Are you working hard in the corporate spaces and sectors where you're serving as a female lawyer? And you have also emphasized ably that personal branding is about you magnifying your personal excellence. It's about learning to grow your personal skills. Are you good at communication and you're learning more about it? You've also emphasized the need for us to influence the personal power that we have. But most importantly, what networks are we building around us? Are we building the social networks that magnify our strength, or we are building areas that drain us? I've also liked, Madam Registrar General, the aspect of strategic personal connections. As the year comes to an end, we just have a couple of weeks. Are you strategically planning for 2023 so that the connections you have can spread out to your brand? You have also emphasized the need for us to keep in the present in terms of knowing what is trending in the legal spaces. Do you have the trending information? Are you up to date as a woman in law? And you've also explained the need for us to combat the personal insecurities and get our confidence up going. Allow me to also emphasize that most times when we are growing our brand, we get discouraged by people. I recall when I started, being so strong on Facebook, people always tell you, you're all over the place, you're being too much. But personal branding, like you've ably said, it's a personal choice, it's personal energy, it's a passion. There are opportunities you can't get until people know what you carry and what you have. So I've really picked so much from you in terms of allowing and appreciating personal value systems. Then the other area that I've also picked, and I believe it's food for thought, the need for us to know that personal branding is embracing technology. There is no way you're going to be known in the different sectors and spaces unless you have a LinkedIn account, for example, or unless you have Twitter. Gone are the days where we only rely on classmates and OGs and OBs that know us. People need to know you beyond the small social sector that you have. So, Madam Registrar General, you've really taken us through very, very important nuggets of wisdom. And I've also liked that aspect of what online content are you putting up? Are you merely sending forwards, even on the WhatsApp groups that we subscribe to? Are you the kind of person who simply shares the forwards that are negative and toxic, or you're sharing content that people are going to relate with you? Because at the end of the day, every content you share, people associate your brand with it. So I've picked so much on that. And allow me to move on to the other questions that have come in. They're already in the chat room. Someone is asking, is personal brand different from personality? And then the other question is, what are the challenges that you've encountered personally with personal branding? Because you've said we need to go out there and be proactive on the media platforms. But of course, that comes with a lot of jealousy, envy, malice, and people plotting to bring down your brand. So what are those threats and risks? And what are the mitigating factors? How should a young female lawyer who has opened up different accounts on social media handle the backlash? Over to you, Madam Registrar General. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Personal branding and its difference from personality. Personality is more to do with who you are as an individual, what you stand for. And those of you who have read the book Personality Plus, you know that it tells the different categories of personalities, either cholerics, melancholies, and all those personalities. And when you read actually in summary, you will see where your personality is. There are people who have a mix of personality. There are people who are quiet, who do not want to associate with people. There are people who are reserved. Naturally, we have different personalities. And so when it comes to the personal branding, it is how you want the world to know you, how you want people around you to know you. It doesn't matter what kind of personality you are. You may be this silent person, but you're good at writing. You may be this reserved person, but you say it with a pen, and you write, share on social media. And so these may have some binding attributes, but you don't have to, the personal branding and personality are totally different, but they have also some meeting points somewhere, depending on what you are doing. The challenges with personal branding, there's so many challenges. First of all, once you do personal branding in terms of creating a visibility, if you create, you can do personal branding silently, but it means that the market, if you're doing it for commercialization, the market will not know you, the world will not know you. But if you're doing personal branding with visibility for purposes of commercializing your skill and the products that you create, then you have to go out there on social media platforms and be on all of them. And The risk with, of course, that it has so many, everything has benefits and costs, everything. Whether you remain silent, everything comes at a cost. When you do a cost and benefit analysis, you'll see what you will lose by not being on social media and what you will benefit by being on social media. So it is a two-way. When you build a brand, let's say you're known for timekeeping, like I'm known for timekeeping. You give me 7:30, I'll be there 10 or 20 minutes before. And I get so irritated when people don't start things on time. I get so uncomfortable when people invite me for a function and they're telling me, wait somewhere, people have not come. I say, no, you gave me an appointment of 2 a.m. to launch a product or to be a guest speaker. I am here, let me wait for the people. And I built that, and the people around me know. But the beauty of building that brand is that people think you are too much. People think you are stressing them. And people will want you to pull you to their own weakness. Like you say, 7:30, people have not come. Maybe you come after 30 minutes, people are not here. So they put you in their own weakness bubble of now not keeping time. And I've said no to that. The program says 7 or 7:30, I'll be there, whether there are people or not. I will sit and wait. But I can't be in the bubble of being a late comer. And so when you have that personal brand of integrity, many people will, of course, make your life difficult because you do not entertain corruption. You do not want to do things behind the scenes. It is clear. Everything has to be clear. So you create some discomfort somewhere. When you have the personal brand of writing on social media, being on YouTube, writing on social media, people will think, those people who are weak at writing and whose interest is not there will start judging you because that's not their space. And I tell people, be who you are. I am this. Like, I love to dance. I love listening to music. So when music plays at a function and there's the dance has opened, I dance. But people will start judging you. Oh, why is she dancing? Why is she? But that is my love. I play music. That's what I love. If I want white shirts, that's what I'll do. So, but somebody who is not, whose interest is not there, will be the person to judge you. So that's the risk, that people judge us from their own lenses. Actually, that's how life is. Somebody will judge you from the way they see things and even the extent at which they see. But they are not you. As long as something is not against public order and morality, as long as something is not against godly principles, go for it and do it right, do it well. You don't have to please the world. People will think that by sharing, I love pictures, I love taking pictures. And people will think that by taking pictures or being all over social media, you're trying to kuchisusa. You know, people will say, no, kuchisusa. No, it's not kuchisusa. It is you who is looking at it because you're not in that space. That is my space. So sometimes I have to tell people, you're in your lane. We're all in our own lanes in life. And the lane comes with different dimensions, with different responsibilities, with different tasks and roles until the end, until we leave the earth. So people will judge, and people will always judge. People can judge. People, even when you're quiet, people will complain that as she's quiet. When you speak, people will say, why is she speaking? That's Kajanja. When you sleep, people will say, why is she sleeping? When you dress, people will say, why is she dressing? When you don't dress, people will talk. So whatever you do, people will talk. So we're not here to please people. As long as something's within the godly principles, not against public order and morality, do it your best. And when it comes to professionalism, give yourself the best, learn the best, and do the best for the world. Otherwise, there are so many challenges, whether with personal branding, whether with no branding, they'll always come. But when you do a cost and benefit analysis, person who has built their brand will sell more than a person who's just in the crowd and trying to be holy and trying to withdraw and trying to be good and trying to be that humble girl. The world is moving so fast, colleagues. The world is not leaving anyone behind. You recall that many people did not embrace social media. When social media had started, Facebook, I was all over Facebook, posting things on life, things on cookery, things on profession. And people are judging me. They're saying I'm wasting time on social media. I said, wasting time. I wake up by 5 and I'm ready, moving to office by 6. So the time between office and I'm tweeting, I manage my own pages, by the way. My Twitter handle, Mercy Keynes, my Facebook page, only that Facebook is off formally, I cannot post. And LinkedIn, I do write my own posts. I do handle my pages personally. People have even asked me, who handles your Twitter handle or your LinkedIn? I say, it is me. I write everything myself because I love writing. I have that talent of communication. And at one time, people thought that I was the communication person of my office, but I just love communication. But somebody who has no strength in that area will think, what does she have to post every day? Does she have to tell us her programs every day? Does she have to tweet about this? You tweet, you have your space, you create yourself. But if you feel that you don't want to tweet, it's up to you. But the world is going ahead. So there are many people who thought that being on social media was being idle. There's so much that happens. There's so much that happens. And with COVID-19 pandemic, we could see how Zoom got on board, who are not who had no smartphones, had to buy smartphones. So that's where the world is, that's where class is, that's where business is, and that's where learning is. And what is training, you have to know what is training by just looking at Twitter handles, a few Twitter handles, and you know that this and this is happening in Uganda or Africa or globally. So everything has risks, everything has costs, everything has benefits, but pick out the benefits from whatever you do and magnify them and ignore the risks and costs and the naysayers and the negativity around it. Otherwise, it becomes a toxic world around you and you'll never move and do anything. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mercy. The other question that has come in is someone is asking that how do you build confidence for purposes of personal branding? It's a question that has come in the chat room because someone is basically wondering, where do you start from to build that confidence? And like you've ably shared, sometimes people think that personal branding is a passion. So how do you, share some nuggets of wisdom? And then someone is also sharing a question on how do you handle work-life balance, especially the fact that you're juggling work vis-a-vis ensuring that you're up to date with your social media platforms. How do you handle? And then how do you encourage someone who has been derailed by negative energy to pick themselves up and get back on their footing? Thank you so much.
Okay. Confidence building is actually, I mentioned that through, I sit on many interview panels. I've sat on interview panels, I think, for the last 15 years. And you see somebody with good papers, but they cannot express themselves. But you also see somebody who expresses themselves, but on ground, they cannot do things, they can't deliver. Confidence building takes many shapes. There are people who have natural fear, natural panic, and they cannot express themselves. They have struggles. They're struggling with their childhood, maybe incidences or the exposure, maybe the schools they were introduced to, the teaching styles. They have had situations that took away their confidence. And we need to be intentional. And especially those who are parents here, we need to engage our children and give them that confidence. The world is for confident people. You will have all the papers that you have in this world. But somebody confident with even a low-class degree, a low-grade degree, a classified degree, they will come and take over. You've seen it. We are women and just one man here. You see how men vibe. Women, men do not care whether the level of education, what they are doing. Well, you've seen border borders. You look at the border men. You're passing by and they are saying, oh, Nyabu, to a number you. Meanwhile, you have just come out of your Benz or Range Rover. They don't care. They don't fear you. So sometimes I ask myself, where do these border men get their confidence? They don't care. They will tell you, they will say, Mama, Onyirira, Mama, Tuwaka Simuko, Mama. Of course, others do it for bullying, but the fact that they can say it, of course, that is harassment also. They have that confidence. Me, I always read confidence. So coming from there, the fact that even that ordinary man can have confidence also speaks volumes that the stereotyping and the cultural norms have a lot to do with confidence in the girl child. So at home, what do you do for that girl child, even the boy child, to build confidence? To build confidence. In fact, now our children, when you look at the generation of our children, the girl child is more confident than the boy child. I see it. My daughters are more confident than my son. He shouldn't hear me. So, and I've been trying to work on you, please be this, be this, be this. So we have a lot to do just from childhood. It takes us back to childhood. But as mature people, we are this age. How do we build our confidence? It starts, I again tell you, it starts with you. Start in your room. Look at yourself, speaking, get the mirror. Speak to the mirror. Tell yourself you're good. Tell yourself you can do it. Start practicing. It starts with practicing. Practice. Work around the people that are confident. Engage. Look for mentors. Actually, many people do not have mentors. And it's very important at whatever age, whether you're 60 or 70, you can get a mentor. Look for somebody you look up to or somebody that may be confident. Have sessions with them. Have coffee with them. How do you do it? How do you appear in court and win all these cases? So I've been confident from childhood, personally, from childhood. And I've been a leader from nursery. From nursery, I tell people, wherever I'm going, where I'm going, it's not accidental. And those that have gone to school with me know it. It's not accidental because I was confident from childhood, because all that confidence was built in me. It doesn't matter whether you're better than me, whether what, I will approach you, engage you humbly, engage people, connect, network, all those kinds of things. Try out things, colleagues. Let's not fear ourselves. We have also to conquer the spirit of fear. We have fear. People fear. You're given a microphone to present and people start quaking. It is practicing. Confidence isn't built, but it is also acquired. Be around spaces that you feel comfortable with so that you practice. And then when you get out there, you will be that confident person. You will lose many opportunities without confidence. Somebody will come and take that deal, that job, that client, just because they walked to them at a cocktail and gave them their card and spoke just one word or two and were impressed. So it's a work in progress. And maybe another thing that is also important is many a times we don't blow on trumpet because culturally we have been told that, oh, don't speak good things about yourself. Let us speak for you. In this age, in this day and age, there are few people who will blow your trumpet. There are few people who will talk about you. Blow your own trumpet. Learn to blow your own trumpet. Not in a proud way or ungodly way, but through sharing what you have. Share. And all these platforms are available. Do YouTube videos. Go write on your pages. And I've seen somebody who has posted that now they're going to revive their writing skills. I love writing. I write a lot. In fact, I published a book just a moment. I've been writing a lot of articles, and I decided to publish a book on the parenting legacy, life lessons from my father. It is out. It came out 2 weeks ago. So I love writing. Write. Do not write. We always say, die empty. Do not leave anything for yourself. By the time you die, die empty. Do things that will add value to this world. Balancing work. I do not believe in balancing, and I've already said this. I wrote articles in the media many years ago on my thoughts and my school of thought about work. It is very hard to balance work, family, life, academia, writing, social work, all these things you cannot balance. You have just to create time for every space. There are different spaces, it's integration. If you're at work now, like I'm at work, I'm working, and maybe I'm mixing some family, I have to check on the children, I have to check on what, a few calls here and there as I'm integrating. Then when it comes home, you're at home. You have now stopped being the career woman in office or the lawyer, and now you're at home checking the kitchen or the boardroom or the office space. And at home, you're doing your home work. And then when it comes to business, weekend, you are in that shop, running your shop or trading your goods online. When it comes to social work, during the weekend, you're in Rotary or Reliance or Toastmasters. Or when it comes so you just integrate, you just change. You're like a chameleon, actually. You're like a chameleon. When you're in office, you're doing office work. When you're at home, you're doing homework. And of course, through this, some spaces have to suffer. You can't balance. So when it is time for work, I give time to work. When it is time for writing, I create time. So time is to be created. I don't balance because nothing can be balanced, but I integrate my life accordingly. And I program myself. I have like a weekly schedule. I know what I'm going to do, and of course, with a few adjustments along the way. I know I make my plan, and I stand by it. And of course, there are also flexibilities to that plan depending on what comes and urgently and the assignments at hand. So it is hectic, but you have to create the time. Time is to be created, and the time is there. By the way, time is there. I have realized there's too much time. As you're moving, as you're doing, you can write. Even writing a book, you just write. You can decide to write a page every day. I wrote this book during COVID, and I relaxed a bit, and then I decided to complete it this year. So just write a paragraph if you're a writer. If you're doing a business, just delegate or skill people to stand in for you when you're not there. It's difficult, but you have to create time. And I always tell people, our parents did it. They did a million things. They had more than 10 children of us. Our children, our parents, for us, we're having one or two, but they managed to look after all of us, all the children. They managed to do business and take us to school. They managed to go to the garden. They managed to go to do their social responsibilities. If they could do it then, when there was no social media, when there was no fast food, cookers, of course, were there, the microwaves and all these modern things that have come up. Why can't we do it? But of course, as you do this work, also leave time for you not to break. There's too much. You can take one and it can finish you. Just take one step at a time, but don't be slow, because this world is going at a faster pace. Derailed. People that derail and give a negative energy. Like I mentioned, these people will always be there. And the world cannot do without them, by the way. They will always be there. Now imagine the world had only good things, good people, good what. I think it would be boring. It would be boring. Many people would not be making money, especially the media. What would it be selling, especially those tabloids? But in the workspace, we have them. We have people who don't support the system. People will not support you as a leader. People will not. But as long as I still have this contract to serve, as long as you still have that position in the law firm, as long as you're still the CEO, do your best. Are you doing the best? Are you doing the best? That is the first question that I should ask. Am I doing the best? So this negative energy and the negative people around me, they just want around you. They just want to take out the good out of you and to divert you. We call it diversion in social media language. a diversion. They want to divert you. They know that you're on the path, on the main road. It has a few potholes here and there, you'll pass through it. Then they want to create a diversion so that you get off the road. So beware. I always tell people, beware of falling debris. You know those posts that they put on the construction sites? Beware of falling debris. And I tell them, beware of falling debris, but read enemies, haters, bad influence, bad things, corruption, all that is falling debris. So beware. So you have to live a life where you have to beware of where you're going. But the beauty is that when you know where you're going, and like I mentioned, you are a personal project. You are a project. You have a strategic plan for 5 years. You know where we'll be. I have that strategic plan. I know where I have asked God to be in the next 5 years and what He will do for me. So when you are on that path, whatever comes, whether people start throwing stones, as long as you are doing the truth and you have the value system, and you as a Rotarian, maybe you observe the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? As long as you have, what is your four-way test in life? It can even be a three-way test. What is that test you have? That everything that comes before you, you say, is it clean? Is it a message from God? Is it something that that will maintain my values? Is it against public order and morality? Is it within my value system? So you can have a four-way test or a five-way test or a three-way test to assess and take decisions. So these derail negative energy, diverters, toxic people will be around. And in the workspaces where we operate, there are so many. And if we were to pay attention to them, we wouldn't do work. That is diversion. So you let the person with their negativity, you leave them there, you're on a bus, you leave them there and you move with those who are willing. It is a coalition of the willing. There are very good people out there. The world has become so negative that we think everybody or everything is negative. And let me tell you, there are so many good people out there. There are so many people who mean well for you out there. So you leave those naysayers, focus on that person that wishes you well and move the right path. Otherwise, we can't finish them or we can't let them derail us. Do not let them derail you. Keep on the right path and all will work out, all will align. And even those enemies that you know that fought you in the workplace, fought you as you go climbing the ladder, fought you will be the ones that are looking for you, will be the ones that will confess and even tell you the people who are influencing them about those situations. You're given a responsibility and somebody tries to fight you, and at the end of this say, oh, by the way, we thought you were bad. Even this one was saying that when you were saying that you are bad, but you're good. And they start confessing and fighting. But also pray, because there's nothing that fails prayer. And God will always answer. I'm telling you, there's nothing that fails prayer. Pray to God because it is God at the end of the day that guides us and empowers us and gives us the wisdom to carry on. The world has heavy people, has a lot of challenges, and we just need God's wisdom. But also, we should be alert all the time to what is happening around us and in our surroundings. Thank you.
Oh, wow. I think for me, the take home in this session, and for those of you who are just joined and others that are coming in, is the need for us to remember that personal branding sells more than anything else. And personal branding is about us. I really like that bit. And also the fact that the world is moving very fast. Ladies, like the Registrar General has emphasized, we have no room to remain slow and docile. The world is moving fast. We need to move fast and we need to jump on the train and make sure that we are branding ourselves personally. And I also like the aspect of the world is for confident people. That's for sure. Because the more someone is confident out there, the more you're going to be ready for the opportunities that are coming up. And you've also shared something very pertinent about the need for us to conquer the spirit of fear. If there's anything that discourages women more is about the fear of the unknown. Sometimes we fear our friends. At the moments, we fear our peers and classmates. Because like you've ably shared, one of the things that people always tell others that are being very proactive about their brand is, Ochisusiza, you're being too much, you're all over the place. And we forget that the more Ochisusa is, the more you're going to be identified out of the crowd and be able to take on the opportunities. So I agree with you, Madam Registrar General, that we need to conquer fear. We need to conquer the people-pleasing mentality. We need to conquer being bound by the opinions of others and make sure we stick to morality, ethics, but most importantly, to work on our personal value systems and personally brand ourselves. Then the other key nugget that I've also picked, that we need to die empty, like you shared. We need to be able to share our knowledge selflessly. And I just want to appreciate you at that, because even when we realize that your schedule is very tight and we approached you, like you've ably shared, you gave us room. You kept responding and saying, Joyce, I'm a little held up, but share with me your schedule of FLN, I'll be able to fall in place. So what I've picked is that need for us to empty. Each one of us has a deeper well in us full of knowledge, inspirational information, motivation, professional, nuggets that we need to share. But most people keep it in there. And the more you keep it in there, the more you deny people to know what you carry, and the more you deny people from quenching, from benefiting from the sources that you have. The other aspect I've also picked is the aspect of integration, that we need to be able to understand that sometimes it's hard to do the work-life balance, but how do we integrate family time? How do we integrate work, community service, networking, etc.? So in the last few minutes, I just wanted to pose the other questions that have come in from one of the participants, that are there any communication nuggets you can share, the special skills people need to improve on their communication? Then the other aspect that has also come in is, how do you make sure that at the end of the day, you remain on top of your age? What are the 3 core things that you need to do to make sure that your brand is never affected by anything around you? Thank you so much, Marcel.
Thank you very much, moderator. You're doing great. The nuggets with regard to communication, we understand that communication comes in different ways. There's the verbal and non-verbal communication. And the verbal includes talking. Before you speak, what do you intend? What is the message? Who is your target audience? What are you communicating for? Because communication also has purpose. Are you communicating for change or mindset? Are you communicating to commercialize? Are you communicating for just knowledge purposes? Are you communicating just for shows? So it depends on the purpose. So what is the purpose? And what mode of communication are you going to use? The nonverbal includes writing, sign language, acting, musical work, all those performances. And I believe that you mean all these communication classes. And the special nuggets that I can give is are that first of all, you have to know what is the what do you want to communicate? What is your target audience? If it is communication to children, you know how to package the information. And the children of these days are too smart. They're actually ahead of us. They're ahead of us. They know the style. They know what is training. They know. So you have to also study the environment and see how to package your information. And also we have to be careful how we communicate, because you saw in the papers, in the media, how these suicides are on the increase, and God forbid, and we pray for the families, we pray for the community. And some of the reasons that these young people are committing suicide are because the parents responded to them harshly, that get away to game when the child goes, and that's that. So how we communicate to this generation also is we have to be intentional on what and who and when. But for purposes of career and the law, the female lawyers, of course, you know your space on where you want to communicate. It may not only be related to law, it can be related to family, to society, to politics, to fashion, to design, to architecture, all those things that are in your area of interest. And as long as you know your message, just know the language that you're going to use, because you already know the target audience, Twitter, you know the Twitter language, you know the Facebook language, you know the LinkedIn language. By the way, every social media platform has its own language. If it TikTok, you know. Instagram, you say it with pictures mainly. So it's mainly non-verbal. You can put some tagline or what, but normally the Instagram is pictures. Facebook, you can play around, you can say anything. Actually, Facebook takes anything, and most jokes and those non or informal things happen on Facebook. Twitter, you have limitation, first of all, as to the word characters, the words that you use. So you have to be brief. So you have to synthesize your message to make it so brief, but straight to the point. Twitter, it has limitation. Now it has introduced the part of audio and many things. And even Twitter, you don't edit. You have to delete. If you have made a mistake, you have to delete and put the right. Whereas others have the editing component. You can write on LinkedIn, edit later after seeing a mistake, or Facebook or Instagram. But for Twitter, you have one chance to communicate. And if you have made a mistake, you either correct through the thread or you delete and repost. So also that how you improve your communication. And LinkedIn, it's more professional. Talk about work, the awards you've won, the things you're doing, the courses you're doing. There's that professional family on LinkedIn, and people will congratulate you on your anniversaries for work. You've never seen these congratulations on Twitter or even on Facebook. Maybe birthday. Facebook has a lot of birthday greetings because it alerts you and people will see it. So the mode on the platform also matters as you communicate. So that is the second language. The first one was the message that you want to communicate, the platform you want to communicate it on, and the audience that you want to communicate it to as well. And then, of course, the timing. The timing also matters. If you see that, for example, maybe something is sensitive and people are getting Range Rovers for birthday presents, you don't just come and write, you as a person who may be in public sector or write a joke around it. But a comedian can write a joke about it. But you as an employee of government or a lawyer, you may not be comfortable to talk about it or to write about it. If your client has lost a case or in court, some things you don't have to share unless they are decisions of court and they are public. Sometimes you see lawyers sharing documents, sensitive documents on their pages for the clients. What happened to the data protection and privacy? What happened to the respect of confidentiality and the secrets around there? So you don't communicate, I've come out of court, my client is has been convicted. You don't, because some of the clients love their privacy and they wouldn't want to be published. So the timing and the people around it. So there's different nuggets that I use. Personally, I communicate a lot. I told you, I write about the activities that we go through, the day, the people that we meet. some level of fun here and there, but it is limited. You don't go so much, and there's fun and humor that also affects somebody's brand. So you have to be careful as you take out this message. Is it going to affect, even as we actually now post pictures, if you have picked a picture from a platform, or you have to attribute it to the person that took it. Otherwise, you can be taken on for infringing copyright. You have seen also Facebook, or when you put a video and it has music that it detects, it will say this music is protected by copyright, or it will reach, even it will not play the sound, but the video will play because that music is under protection. So there are also artificial intelligence systems that are embedded, and robotics that are embedded within these systems that we're using, the platforms that we're using, that do not enable you to communicate for infringement, even when people may be ignorant about the same. So let's communicate for change. Let's communicate for influence. Let's communicate for commercialization. Let's communicate for knowledge. Let's communicate for skill. Let's communicate. Have purpose for what you're communicating. How do I make sure that the brand is not affected? Well, we just do the things, but you don't know who comes up tomorrow with a fake story or fake news. We are in a world of fake news. Anything can be put out there. But what matters is that, are you in the right shape? Are you doing the right thing? Are you innocent? Are you influencing? Are you doing all that is possible to engage and influence positively? And of course, for institutions, we always receive complaints at an institutional level. We have built our brands, but somebody will tweet that my document has delayed, or this person, they'll deal with brokers, and they'll think that these brokers are staff, and these brokers have learned also how to put on our t-shirts. These t-shirts are made downtown in Kampala, and people will think they are staff, and they will pick money from them, and before you know it, they are blowing it. A URSP staff has taken this, or I took my money, and they mention names. Many of them sent to my WhatsApp, and I know each and every staff. I know their names, and we say we have never had this person anywhere around our space. And we tell these people, you have been conned. Please know how to go through the right system. So you build your brand, but there are people who want to post. And I've encouraged lawyers, especially the young lawyers, that you don't have to tweet about a challenge. We have platforms, the social media, we have a WhatsApp number for the institution. We have a toll-free number. We have our phones. We have our Twitter handles. Anytime you inbox, your matter will be attended to. And 99% of all people that have complained on social media, when we ask them for details, you find that they've used brokers, they have used third-party information, or they have even not submitted. A client gave them work, and they haven't submitted, but they've told the client that this thing is stuck at your recipe. And it gives me peace every time I find that work has not come, and yet there's this complaint, but also we have a solution and a response to the client. But meanwhile, the image has been dented on social media. So now we have devised means that when somebody complains on social media, we ask them again on social media what the work is. We look at our system and we respond. The exact that you submitted your work on Tuesday, you are asked to submit this document and get them signed, but you have not signed. So please sign these documents and your work will be processed. So that's how we are doing it, because this is how the world is pushed. The world will push you. Your responsiveness actually depends on how the attacker comes. When the attacker ambushes you, somehow they'll catch you unawares. But when they have ambushed you and now you have the skill, you know how to avoid ambushes and be ready for them. So there are different ways that you can build and rebuild the brand. But a brand is a process. You never reach a time and say that I have reached this, I have made my brand, and this is it. If it were that, Coca-Cola would not be advertising. Coca-Cola has been here for years, but it advertises on TV. on radio, everywhere. The brand is everywhere. If it were that, I think even all these big brands, you know them, they wouldn't be advertising. So you can never reach a time where you feel that I've built my brand. Yes, you built your brand, but as you build your brand is actually your intangible property, your intellectual property, if I may say that. Your brand is that intangible property. And because it is intangible property, somebody can give you a loan just because of your name. They'll say this, Nasa Pio, oh, Nasa Pio, I'll lend her my, even agreement. Somebody will lend you 10 million just because of that. They'll say, Damali. Oh, Damali is always smart. She's what? No, I will what? I will transact with her. So even your name, your brand can earn you. It can be used as collateral, if I may use that language. Your brand can be used as collateral to get you money, to get you clients, to get you a space, to get even a job, to get you a connection. They will know that this person, praise to Msimi, Omujisha, Afra Mpungu, I'm reading all these names and I know all these people. So they will know that this person is like this. So let's protect our brands, because our brands are collateral, and even collateral for our children, because these are children. They will be in school, they'll be like, oh, so-and-so's daughter, so-and-so's son, or even at a workplace, they will connect. And some people may refuse to give your child a space or a position because they know her. The mother or the father, this is our grandchild of son. So it follows. So let's build brands, not for only our generation, but for the generation to come. Thank you very much. Moderator, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I was just trying to press the right setting. Madam Registrar General, allow me in the next 1 minute to simply appreciate you so much. One, for taking off your time to share knowledge and inspirational nuggets with a female lawyers network fraternity. Thank you for your kindness and humility. I just want to assure you that we've learned a lot. It has been very insightful, informative, and we've also been empowered. I've personally picked more vibe and energy from your presentation to continue to progressively work on my brand. And for the participants out there, thank you so much for taking off time to participate in our online sessions. We've had a very good attendance. And I just want to encourage you to continue attending the sessions. They're free, but we are learning so much and we are growing together. I wish you a beautiful weekend. I'll share the recording immediately for those who have not attended the full session. God bless you, and subscribe to all our social media platforms. Bye-bye and have a beautiful weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.